So Gib has been putting out a few videos on his social media calling out Austin McBroom to fight and saying how Austin McBroom doesn't want to fight and he has trouble with signing the papers and actually signing the dotted line to actually make the walk against Gib, which is very interesting to see because obviously we had that social gloves event where Austin McBroom did not come out the best in that fight. Or in that event, obviously his fight went well with Bryce Hall, but when you look at the aftermath of all the controversy that happened with social gloves and all of that just got put right onto him as he was pretty sure the CEO of the company where they didn't pay their fighters and there was a lot of controversy in that event. So I mean, if he came back to YouTube boxing, I mean, it would really be a bad look as he hasn't even paid his event and his fighters. Obviously, I'm pretty sure that pay-per-view flopped in social gloves because they thought they could sell a YouTube boxing event where all the audience is a majority of kids and they thought they could sell that for $50.
Yeah, and I don't know what's the chances of if the AnEsonGib versus Austin McBroom fight actually occurred. Would it be on Showstar? Because I feel like Austin McBroom would be the type of guy that wants his fight to be on main event and to be the kind of star of the show. And now we know that Deji versus Alex Wasabi is the main event, and I doubt at this point they would probably change a main event of their whole event, or maybe Gibb versus McBroom happens on a different card, and maybe Austin makes a new company, and then scams his fighters again.
Or just social gloves too.
Yes,
I mean,
social
you
gloves
never know.
too.
But Gib has been saying on social media how if Austin McBroom doesn't want to sign the dotted line, then he'll fight someone else. He'll fight someone else on Showstar Boxing, which is definitely anticipated. We want to see him back in the ring. Gib is definitely a huge draw in the YouTube boxing scene with his huge backing of the UK audience and kind of the same kind of fan base that KSI brings to the table and the Sidemen and all them. So yeah, it will definitely be exciting to see Gib come back. Just like it's exciting to see Deji come back and hopefully look for redemption, just like Gibbs had in his last fight against Taylor Holder. An incredible redemption where you really saw that he outclassed Taylor Holder over the course of every round and just completely dominated that fight, took over, and it was a beautiful performance. But other options are out there for Gibb. I mean, there's the Slim fight, which is possible because Slim has obviously been having back and forth with Gibb for quite a while, but Slim's not really that relevant in the scene and he doesn't bring a lot to the table compared to some other guys. But there aren't really many options for Gibb to come into this space because Austin McBroom is probably the main guy that he could get right now, but doesn't look like he wants it. There are other options like Anthony Taylor or Josh Bruckner, but I'm not sure how likely they are.
Yeah, and just like Gibb had a great performance against Taylor Holder, and of course on the same card, Austin McBroom had a great performance against Bryce Hall, where he displayed some decent techniques there with some good straight punches and had a good solid switch stance and mixing it up, kind of giving
Yeah,
Bryce Hall different looks and managed to badly beat up Bryce Hall to a bloody pulp and
yeah.
got the TKO in the third round. And it seemed like he had some potential there. But of course, Gibb, we've seen so much improvement from that Jake Paul fight where he really
Yeah.
took his losses and his loss and kind of learned from it and see what he did bad in that fight and just adapted it and pretty much evolved as a fighter and showed a bunch of different new techniques that we didn't get to see earlier and showed great pressure striking where he was just pressuring Taylor Holder and just pretty much teeing off on him.
Yeah, I mean, comparing their wins, I mean, I think Taylor Holder's definitely a much better win than Bryce Hall is, but at the same time, Austin McBroom did TKO Bryce Hall. So, I mean, it's definitely an interesting fight. I think style-wise, this is incredibly interesting, because we've seen Gibbs struggle with the kind of style of Jake Paul, where he just times his shots right and makes sure to be able to land the right shots, but as well, we've seen Austin McBroom in the pocket, not looking too good as Gibbs a pressure fighter. He's nonstop coming forward, nonstop high volume, incredible pace, and just insane cardio. So I mean, if Gibbs able to get on the inside and just put a beating on Austin McBroom, that could pose a huge threat as Austin doesn't seem to have any real answers to that. I mean, he doesn't really throw combinations. He really just throws like no punches and bunches, just power shots with no real setup and not really any regard for setting traps and actually making his shots effective. Both of these guys have been wanting to get back in the ring. Austin McBroom said he's gonna get back in the ring in March, which would put it in line to be on the Showstar boxing event, which is interesting. And another interesting thing is that Gibb is one of the most experienced YouTube boxers. He has the most experience in the ring in YouTube boxing besides Jake Paul, having 4 fights in the scene. So yeah, it's definitely gonna be interesting to see how this fight plays out.
Yeah, and I feel like if Austin McBroom really wants to be cemented as one of the best YouTube boxers in the scene and really wants to showcase his skills and to maybe get a fight with KSI in the near future, if that ever happens, then I feel like Gib would be a huge stepping stone if he were to be able to beat Gib, which of course would be a super tough challenge, but would really bring him in line if he wanted that KSI fight, since of course KSI and Gib are very close friends.
Yeah, and Austin McBroom actually posted on his Instagram story a couple of months ago that he wanted to fight Gibb this year and then later in the year to fight KSI. So Gibb would kind of be his warm-up fight, and when he beats Gibb, puts a statement, then he'll get in the ring with KSI. So we don't know if KSI is going to come back to boxing even. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see if Austin McBroom could maybe put a performance against Gibb and call out KSI, because I feel like that would definitely be his approach, and it's definitely what he wants to work towards. So it's going to be an interesting fight, and it's going to be interesting to see if this could happen on Showstar, because that's a fight coming up soon. It's in like 50 days, so yeah, it'll definitely be interesting.